Kerry Alzner, thanks for joining us, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. God said I could stay here one more day.
What a gift that is, man.
Actually,
Yeah.
no, that's not a gift.
No?
Think about it. You stand in front of Jesus and he says, "Welcome, my good and faithful servant. No more pain, suffering, and sorrow." But he has something for each one of us to do, and it's going to start getting dark soon.
That's it. That's the end of the show, folks. See? I mean, what's better than that? Hey, yours is one of the classes I'm really looking forward to this year at Prepper Camp, Kerry. I've been on this kind of this sort of, ticket price to Prepper Camp is such an immense savings. And having a guy like you on, I thought the question we ask out the gate is, because you're going to be teaching CQB, and we'll get into that in a bit. But what is the cost of a CQB course? If I were to get 3 of my buddies and come see you or go to a CQB guy around, what are we investing in? What are we paying for something like that?
You're looking at about $500 per person per day. Not counting the ammunition you're going to need. Although with CQB, there's some test status. There's a arm status that you have to pass before you start going in the house. Yeah, because you're going to be shooting next to or near somebody within 1 meter of somebody's muzzle or 1 yard.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that you know how to shoot first, and then get you in the house, and then teach you the dance, as I call it, like getting through the doorway and stuff like that.
I like the dance. That's a good way to
look at it. For Prepper Camp, mostly what I'll do is I'll be teaching you how to get through a door.
Yeah.
And then how to get into a corner to dominate a room. And that's as far as we can get in 1 hour. And
sure.
Not too many people are going to have a chance to do everything.
Right.
I'll ask for volunteers. I'll get people through it. And I'll get 2 people through a door.
Okay. I got you.
And most places that I teach, like military, paramilitary personnel, when I teach close quarter battle, getting them through the door is most of 1 day.
Wow.
We're talking a whole day to make sure they're getting through the door, the stack on the door, the procedures through the door, and all that stuff. Like the signals that you're going to use, verbiage and or visual signals with your rifle up and down, things like that. So it takes a day just to teach you how to enter a room with 2 to 4 people. If you get 4 people in 1 day through a room, you're doing good.
Oh, man.
And then it's, stacking on the doors and then starting to flow. And the Special Forces, we have a course called Sephartic. And it's the premier Special Forces close quarter battle course, and it lasts 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
8 weeks. 8 weeks.
I had no idea.
Funnest time you can ever have. Oh, my Lord.
I had no idea such a thing even existed. That is amazing.
There's a course that literally, and it takes about 8 weeks or so. That's just in the course. And a lot of times before the group sends you, we send you through a 3-week train up.
So 3 on top of the 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's to go. You have to kind of prove yourself in group that you can actually do this.
Wow.
It's a thinking man's game.
Must be sharp.
So you have to be able to think, first of all, and think fast and think tactical and think angles, and then be able to hit a target while moving.
Right. It's a dying art.
Actually, it picked up a lot with Iraq, because Iraq was mostly a complete urban environment.
Yeah, I meant the thinking part.
The thinking part is no.
So, Kerry, how did you wind up being the guy teaching, 4-man teams to get through doors?
I spent some time in a special missions unit called a SIF. I was in first group in Okinawa. Did that for like 3 years over there. Before that, I was on like a lesser element called an SOT team. Basically just a small door kicking element. Okay. So I've been, I get about 8 years or so of active experience with it.
All right.
Matter of fact, I was in Okinawa in that SIF when 9/11 happened.
Oh, man.
I was watching Fox News and saw the airplane go in. And at first thought, I was like, man, that's a tragic accident.
Yeah,
as
right.
As soon as I saw the second airplane, everybody in the military mindset saw it and said, we're at war. We straight up knew we're at war. And I thank God I was not in staff duty that night. That poor dude, he's tied down by a typhoon. Nobody could go any place.
Oh, my.
And he was locked in the barracks himself. And then the phone is ringing off the hook. Everything from the Pentagon, from everybody in the unit to the Pentagon down. and that guy was getting it from both ends all the way through. I don't think he slept the whole time.
Wow.
So I've always felt sorry for him, and glad it wasn't me. Rode out the typhoon, got things packed up, got ready to go play, and and we had 20 years of warfare.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot in that 20 years of warfare and how to actually enter buildings better, safer, faster, and more lethal. And part of this I teach.
Yeah, it is an amazing thing to see a team who's really well versed and has been playing together for a long time. They are something to watch, and it's, I guess, because of guys like you and reps, right?
No, reputation, just flow drills as we call them. My team in Okinawa, we were so good and so used to each other that we would flow through a house at night and never see each other. I mean, never hear anything. We wouldn't talk.
Oh,
It was all
wow.
hand and arm signals, body language, the flow where we're at, everything through it from, and it included, throwing flashbangs and shooting shotguns if necessary, or just superstitiously sneaking through the house and taking down targets.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. So I guess
it is. It's kind of fun if you have. I did a training. I was giving some guys some training up in Virginia, and we'll just leave them nameless. They did a night hit, and they all have nods and they have suppressors, and we had OP4, and it was completely dark in the house. I mean, no lights. It's like the lights were cut off, but we had some music playing, pretty loud, cool music.
Okay.
And these guys flowed through the house and didn't have to shoot one of the OP4. They took them all down by hand.
Because they used the silence and the
night
music.
vision.
Oh, yeah.
So these guys could see them sneak up on them with loud music and took them all down. There wasn't a shot fired. And they had, I think it was like 6 or 8 OP4. It was neat.
Wow. Yeah, so they used the music as a distraction,
cover.
fundamentally.
Yeah. So go back to 1989 in Panama. The loud music, blaring at the place where Noriega was hiding. So I think it was a Catholic diocese or something like this. So imagine that noise being played, but then no lights at all.
Right.
Now the team makes entrance.
That night vision is a difference maker, man, if you know what you're doing, right?
It is, but it's so prevalent now that almost anybody can afford it a little bit. In some cases, I would tell you to go ahead and, if you're going to buy it, buy a proper set with the proper amount of money. Don't go cheap.
Yeah, that makes
Get the real
sense.
stuff, because it will last you a long time and work when you need it to work. The cheap stuff out there is going to fail you. What is it? There's a couple guys. He does some stuff. Ready-made Resources sells some pretty good. He sells top-of-the-line equipment.
Okay.
Then you got Armor Sight, I think, and I think that's what Ready Man Resources has, is the Armor Sights. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, buy a good set. And if anybody's really wanting to learn how, I can teach them how to run and shoot with nods. I did a class not too long ago. Have a couple guys come in from night shooting. Yeah,
it's a cool thing. I've had the privilege of shooting night vision, and it is with IR. It's so simple. It's crazy, And I didn't have to move. I wasn't tasked with running over terrain or anything like that. So that's a different animal, I'm sure, when you're not using your own eyes, but pretty cool nonetheless.
Yeah. A friend of mine did a raid on a bad guy target in Afghanistan, and everybody in the team had nods and suppressors. The bad guys knew they were under attack. They just didn't know from where.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a bad position to be in for sure. So Kerry, your course, I'm assuming, is going to be something like an intro. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Are you bringing a door frame? You said people are going to go through a door. You're using.
I've actually invented a movable training door that you can set up on almost any flat range to practice going through the door. Either push or pull. Yep. I've through Rick, Rick helped me get a hold of a patent lawyer, and he looked at it and he goes, "Dude, we can patent this, but it's $7,000 to start to get the patent."
Yeah.
And when you look at the door, I mean, you've seen the 9-hole training wall, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Guess what? Some guy behind the fence invented that thing to teach the guys after Somalia how to shoot. He gave permission for Kyle Lamb to put it in his book, Black Eyes, Green Rifle, or excuse me, Green Eyes, Black Rifle. And he put that frame in there with the measurements. There's no patent. I mean, you can't patent something like that. If you see it, take a picture of it. Now you got it. You know what I mean?
Right. If you know how
Same
to
thing with my
reproduce
door.
it.
So if you take a picture of my door, you're like, oh, I can build that. It's like almost anything. The necessity makes you invent something.
Yeah,
and some people look like, dude, that's awesome. It's so simple. Why didn't I think of it? So there you go. I have a training door that's movable. I made it so I can take it down, put it up. I will be bringing it to class. I'd had it there last year. Yeah, I had it there for last year, and I think it was the year before that. I can't remember now. Anyways, yeah, it'll be at the class again, and I'll teach people how to go through a doorway, whether it's a push door, meaning you're pushing it in or pulling it out. And we'll talk about that, and then how to get through into the room.
That's a beautiful thing, man. You've been to prepper camp several years. What's your take?
I think I've only missed 2 of them.
Total?
I think I missed 2, maybe 3 total. I did not make the very first year. I didn't know about the camp.
Right, yeah.
When I found out about the camp from Carolina Readiness Center, they told me. And then I got a hold of Rick, and then every camp I've been to, I've taught. I've been an instructor for every camp, so I haven't really paid to come into camp.
Yeah.
Which the bad part about that is there's some classes I want to take myself.
I know it.
But there's same time in my class. So, you know, the professional in me says I got to teach this class. So we do.
No, I get it.
And then I'll sit in some other classes, the best chance I get on learning some things. I get family members sign up. There's a buddy of mine named Wes, and he gets the same campground, the same spot every year.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah. And we show up as a group every year. I think one time we had as many as 10 adults and a couple of teenagers at the camp.
Yeah,
one
that's
year.
A good time.
I mean, we just it's like a family reunion coming in, and then we scatter, go prepper camp, do the classes, and then do that stuff. But
come back around the fire.
You cannot find a better place to learn the skills you need to know when the world goes dark.
I agree 100%. Now,
it's in the Bible, it's going to go dark, so we have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
I'm a pastor as well.
I gotcha. So aside from the family reunion aspect of things, what else do you look forward to when you come to prepper camp every year? Do you get to go to classes? You said you go to
yeah. I'll push hard to look at some classes. If I can't make it, I will go and talk to the instructor themselves later on there and try to glean some information, talk to them that way and get some stuff. Yeah, there's some skills out there. Mine is more in the military knuckle dragger, gun toter skills.
Yeah.
But there's some really skills out there that you really need. You know, almost anybody can be taught how to pick up a gun and point in the right direction. Learning how to I learned one year how to make cheese from dehydrated milk. I'm like, what? We made mozzarella cheese from dehydrated milk.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah,
at prepper camp.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of this preparedness / homesteading thing that's taking grips, and man, you get a slice of that pie, you know, better than anywhere else, I think, at prepper camp. And for the cost, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's unparalleled. You know, if you're going
it flat out is unparalleled.
Yeah, if you're going to take these classes, like cheese from dehydrated milk class, you know what I mean, on its own, on a standalone, you're paying hundreds. You know, you're paying hundreds.
You're paying for one day of class that would take you 3 days at prepper camp to pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the guys that show up late for prepper camp, get the late tickets, not the early buyers.
Right, okay, early buyers.
The day of prepper camp, the cost of those tickets, for the weekend is what you would charge for one day for some of the classes you're getting.
Definitely.
I mean, it's the financial availability of prepper camp. I mean, it so well fits into a budget, and the fact that you're camping out and you got access to all these instructors after hours to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, and we all like to teach. This is why we're there. We like to teach. We want to give that information to other people because we realize the information we're giving you is going to save you down the road.
That's it. And there are very few speakers that I've ever come across that aren't literally walking around prepper camp during the day that you couldn't go up to. And anyone I've ever went up to, and anyone who ever comes up to me, it's not just about being cordial, but you wind up learning. So I wind up learning stuff from people who come up to me and ask questions. It's inevitable. It's
Yeah.
it's a great time.
I don't think it was last year, but it might have been. No, it was the year before that. It was 22. I gave that CQB class. I'd made my first door, and Rick, because I taught the class up where Rick was office was at, up under the main house.
Yeah.
And I was showing a technique how to maneuver with a handgun and bring it up to play. Okay.
Oh, gotcha,
and Rick was watching the class through the window, and he says, "Dude, I learned so much just watching your class. I didn't even hear nothing." Just watching me how to walk to a door with a handgun so that you're safe, let alone a long rifle. And he's like, fantastic at that part. So yeah, I mean, and that'll carry over to all the instructors that I know of down there, that if you come up and ask us a question, hey, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
We'll talk to you. That's what we're there for, and we love to do it. We love to teach, and we know we're saving a life.
Yeah. In many cases, or at the very least, improving a life. You know what I mean?
Well, there's that parable about don't give a man a fish, teach him how to fish.
Oh, yeah.
I give you a fish, I fed you once. I teach you how to fish, I fed you for life.
That's what this whole prepping journey's been about. Yeah, this whole journey is about that one parable right there, for sure.
That's prepper camp in a nutshell.
So for those of you who don't know, folks out there listening, prepper camp 2025, September 26th, 27th, 28th. Unfortunately, you missed the June 30th cutoff for your 25% off tickets, but the price is still discounted. So get to preppercamp.com, get your tickets today, and come see me and Kerry.
You got to get
tons of other people.
Get your tickets, get your campground, come on down. You'll learn so much. And it's going to be lessons that's going to help you not save your life, not only just save your life when things go dark, but it'll cut cost now.
For sure.
The ways of gardening, the ways of maintaining and prep or storing your food for long-term and stuff. This all adds money to your bank account. Doesn't take it away.
That is so true, man. Since 2020, the various things that we've gone through as a nation, I mean, prepping has done just that. For me and my family, it's done just that. It's literally saved us money, saved us time, saved us headaches, not even on serious disaster stuff, just day-to-day stuff.
Yeah. The COVID thing was kind of fun for a lot of people because maybe us preppers aren't that crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like my wife looked like, she's like, we were cleaning something up. She goes, I don't have any more paper towel in the kitchen. Well, I guess I'll go down to the stash. Well, that's what it's there for, honey. You know? It
was a good feeling.
She's like, we don't have to go someplace if a snowstorm comes in or the hurricane comes in. It's kind of cool. There's a guy on Doomsday Prepper. He lives in South Carolina. But he said, I must be the only guy in town that looks forward to a snowstorm or a hurricane so I can practice my preps.
Well, like I said, it adds validity to all this stuff we do all the time. And, if your family's anything like mine, sometimes you get like what are you doing? What are you doing now, Dad? What are you doing now, honey? What's going on?
Why are you doing this?
Right.
And sometimes it's interesting. Like when I first started getting into prepping, I've always read survival stories and things as a kid growing up and wanting to learn the wood skills and the mountain man stuff and things. And when I'm listening to Glenn back in the early 2000s, and I'm like, yeah, things are going to get bad and it's going to get worse. And then I read the 1 Second After book.
Oh man, what a combo!
That really just
Glenn Beck to 1 Second After.
Regalvanized it. And then was it My Patriot Supply had this special. They advertised on Glenn's show, and they're like, yeah, 3 days of food, the 3-day packet for $20, but you can get a special order of like 20 something, whatever, and you get, extra packages. And then, so I'm like, I'm going to call it up. I called it up and they talked me into that Franklin's coffee too. Good stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
They got freeze-dried coffee for a year, which is going to save the world. from me. And then food for at least, I've got at least 9 days of food for just a few dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how do I tell the wife that I just bought this stuff and I'm looking at prepping, right? Here's the key. The very next morning, a package shows up with the 3 days of food.
Yeah.
Okay. Or excuse me, the 9 days of food and the year of coffee.
Right.
The exact thing I ordered. But it had my wife's name on it.
Oh, man.
She had ordered before me.
You got a good one, Kerry.
Then it was like, honey, we need to talk.
You got a good one. You were
And
both
we've
on
been
the
going
same
there
page.
since.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Well, I look forward to seeing you, man, and coming to your class this year. And it's going to be another great year prepper camp.
It was a blessing to have you call. I thank you for the opportunity. I seriously look forward to seeing all you guys there. And unless the government calls and something strange happens, I plan on being there.
That's a beautiful thing, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you kindly.